go to live. I think we can start by. Go to live. I think. Jananim Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukasvarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Dear devotees, we have started discussing the Mundaka Upanishad. And previous week or 15 days, 2 weeks back, we had an introduction to Upanishads in general or to Vedanta. So, any darshana or any system of philosophy or school of philosophy has to explain 3 main topics. So we were discussing, one is pramana, the instruments of knowledge through which we get knowledge, and prameya, the content of the knowledge or the subject part of the knowledge, and the third is the prayojana. What is the benefit by studying this, by knowing this? More or less, though it is epistemology, I know that it is a bit technical and a bit difficult sometimes for common people, but I have given in a nutshell regarding the pramanas. And we did discuss about Anumana and Pratyaksha, that is a direct perception and inference. And also I had mentioned about the Shastra Pramana, scriptural testimony. So the scriptural testimony is very, very important for us whoever study the Vedanta. So based on this, even the acceptance of the Veda, the 9 systems of philosophy has been classified into Nastika Darshana and Astika Darshana. Astika Darshana means one who accepts the existence of the authority of the Veda. Nastika Darshana means one who doesn't accept the authority of the Vedas. In Astika Darshana, again, it has been classified into 2 subgroups. One is just they accept the authority of Vedas. They take few, ideas from the Vedas. Otherwise, they have got their own scriptural text and they have their own interpretations or logics or whatever. And there are 2 schools, which is Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa, otherwise Vedanta. These 2 schools completely, they depend on Veda. And the former part of the Veda, which is called roughly Karmakanda, which includes Samhita and Brahmana, it is very important. They argue, and the Vedantins, they argue that the latter part or the end part of the Vedas, which is nothing but Upanishads, they are the important part of the Vedas. Means it is summary, it is the final word of the Vedas. So this we had, moreover, we had discussed. And what is Pratyaksha and what is Anumana, we had discussed. And while discussing Shastra Pramana, scriptural testimony, I had used, we need to have Shraddha on the scriptural testimony, that is on the Vedas. So when I use that word Shraddha, some of you were thinking, so that means Vedanta is also demanding, like Semitic religions, faith or belief in that particular system. So that question might have come in many of your mind, and especially I think Samit, even he did raise this question. So before discussing this point, I would like to give 2 or 3 important salient features of this Shastra Pramana, that is scriptural testimony. Why do we need it? One is, first and foremost, how much ever we are advanced in science and technology in this present day also, but and through these 5 sense organs of knowledge, 5 Jnanendriyas and Manas, we get all the knowledge. How much ever they are beautiful, all the knowledge is possible through this, but at the same time, it is our strength and our weakness also. I am seeing the pen as a pen in a particular form. Why? Because of my eye sense organ. Tomorrow, if I get one more sense organ, then the perception of the world or the perception of an object or the perception of the pen may change. Example, if I start, my eye itself starts getting a power to see X-rays, to see gamma rays and etc., then my perception of the world changes. But all of us, we have got these 5 sense organs, which is inbuilt. Because of that, we take it for granted. This is how the world is there. So the validity of our sense organs itself is questioned by the Vedanta in a positive sense, and they say that it has got its own limitations. And also, say for an example, someone has got color blindness, then his or her perception of the world changes. So through sense organs, through mind, and through intellect, we know many things. Never mind, we accept the beauty of it, the power of it, but at the same time, we also, the Vedantins also accept that they are all limited in nature. They have got their own limitations. They have got their own defects. They have got their own fallacies. There can be some fallacies also. Whereas in Shastra Pramana, in this Veda scriptural testimony, all these problems or limitations are free, are taken care. So the Vedas are free from all these type of limitations or problems or limitations or defects. Why? Because the Vedas, which is the treasure house of knowledge, is not being composed or written by any human individual. Then where did we get Vedas? We got Vedas from the divine, from the Supreme Self, from the Paramatman. So that's why it is called Apaurusheya. Here Purusha means human being, not masculine gender. Here Purusha means any living being, that is human being. So Apaurusheya means it is not been composed or written by any human being. Then it is given by God. So when it is given by God, it will be all perfect and it will be free from all the human defects. And the second is, then how did we get Vedas? Did God give him? Gave means the Rishis who led the pure life, who led the unselfish life, and who through their meditation, through their tapas and all, their mind had rise to the particular level, advanced level. For them, these texts were revealed. For an example, Newton discovered gravitational force. Gravitational force, it pre-existed before the invention of discovery of Newton. He only discovered it. So the Rishis, the mantra drashtaras, for them it revealed because they tuned their mind to the cosmic frequency. Second is. The third is, it is a valid source of knowledge, Swatantra Pramana. Again, it is a technical point. What do we mean by Swatantra Pramana? Valid instrument of knowledge. Means it is a independent source of knowledge. This Swatantra Pramana is also holds good with the 5 sense organs of knowledge. For example, eye also has got a independent source of knowledge. Why? Whatever eye perceives, for example, color. Eye perceives the color. Okay, Swami Shantivratananda is wearing which color cap? If you ask people, all of you will be able to say, oh, he's wearing a red color cap. Then suddenly I ask all of you, close your eyes, and I change the cap with color, and I say that, can you try to sense or try to perceive through your ear or nose or tongue or from skin, I am wearing which color cap? Then all of you will say, sorry, Swamiji, we cannot say. Why? Because we have closed our eyes, we can't get the knowledge of the color of the cap which you are wearing and its color as well. So whatever the eye can give, the ear cannot give. Whatever the ear can give, the nose cannot give. Whatever the nose can give, the skin cannot give. So that's why even all the 5 sense organs of knowledge are Swatantra Pramanas. They are all valid source of knowledge, are independent source of knowledge, precisely. But that one holds good for Vedas and as well as these 5 sense organs, Jnanendriyas. but apaurusheya doesn't holds good with the pratyaksha pramana and anumana pramana, that is direct perception and inference. And when we approach the Vedas, knowing that it is a swatantra pramana, valid source of knowledge, independent valid source of knowledge, we have to accept it with the attitude of Shraddha. Shraddha means it is not any mere belief or a blind faith. Rather, it can act as a swatantra pramana, a independent valid source of knowledge. This attitude is known as Shraddha from the scriptural point of view. So you have to understand. Now, when I say knowledge, broad classification, we can do two classifications. One is empirical knowledge, the other is spiritual knowledge. Paravidya, aparavidya. In Mundaka, we discuss all these things. So science, social science, arts, music, all, whatever the knowledge is existing in the universe, all are categorized as aparavidya or empirical knowledge. For that, science can be the best. There, mostly, Vedas or Vedanta doesn't come, or doesn't negate, or doesn't argue. So there, the Vedas tell very clearly that is the role of the empirical science, aparavidya. Whereas when it comes to spiritual science, the Vedas, they take the role of it is our purview, it is our field, or it is our department. So the materialistic knowledge, empirical knowledge is known from science or arts or music, from our sense organs, mind, etc. And spiritual knowledge is known from the Vedas and Upanishads especially. So that's why it is the Vedanta, the Shruti, it is the Pramana, this is Shruti Pramana, scriptural in a testimony. So this is one which important thing you have to understand. Now, these ideas, whatever the Upanishads are discussing, so they discuss on the three-tier approach. This is also very one technical, important point. I request all of you to give your attention and try to understand. When any commentator, in especially non-dualistic philosophy, Advaita Vedanta, based on the Upanishads, when they try to establish their view, when they try to establish their philosophy, they take three-tier approach. What do I mean by three-tier approach? Or what consists of this three-tier approach? One is Shruti, second is Yukti, third is Anubhava. Say for an example, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma or Tattvamasi. Or we will take an Upanishad statement, Tattvamasi. You are that. You means who? Your individual self. That means what? Supreme self. R means what? Both are one and the same essentially. Individual self and supreme self, both are one and same essentially. Okay, this statement is made by a Rishi. Now, how to understand? How do you substantiate your realization? How do you substantiate your view? If you ask, they say, we substantiate, we prove our experience through three-tier approach. What is that? One is Shruti Pramana, because in Vedas it has been seen, it has been mentioned. So Shastra Pramana means here it is Shruti Pramana. That is for us, for any particular idea, do we get support from the Vedas? Then we get Shruti Pramana. That is scriptural inference. The second is, okay, you said Tattvamasi, and for the Shruti Pramana is there. Vedas have certified it, or we get the reference, we get the ideas, support from the Vedas. Is it illogical? Is it against logic or reasoning? Then we cannot accept. It cannot be rational or it cannot be logical also. This is where the difference between Semitic religions and Vedanta or our Hinduism comes. In their case, whatever scripture says, you have to accept, no questioning. In us, those scriptures has to say, but at the same time, we don't say that you cannot question. We say, yes, you can question, you can discuss, and it should be based on reasoning. And it is, the logic and the reasoning is taken as a auxiliary support, or the secondary support to substantiate my view or my experience. So one is Shruti Pramana, scriptural inference. The second is Yukti. Yukti means what? Logic, reasoning. Second is what? The third is Anubhava. My experience should not contradict. Scriptures have saying, fine, logically, yes, I can prove this. Logically, by reasoning, by help of logic, I can prove that. By experience is contradicting. If you say, no, it isn't, then it cannot be accepted. So any view from the Veda or Vedanta, it has to, get passed by this three-tier approach. One is Shruti, Yukti, and Anubhava. Means scriptures, scriptural inference, scriptural testimony, you can say. Shruti, Yukti means logic or reasoning. The third is Anubhava, that is what? Experience. So in Vedanta, it is not reason derived, rather it is reason regulated. So this one fine important point. It is not reason derived, it is reason regulated. Okay, this very basic, essence of the Pramana Vichara we did. Now we are supposed to do Prameya Vichara and Prayojana Vichara. I shall try to finish these two Vichara today itself. Now, Prayojana Vichara we shall take. What is the benefit of studying Vedanta? I would like to finish my graduation in distinction, or I would like to pass first. I would like to get gold medal in my master's or graduation or post-graduation. By studying Vedanta, do I get? No. That is not the role of Vedanta. I have got some family problem. By studying Vedanta, can you get? Of course, today, as an offshoot, we are all trying to get the Vedanta help and all. But in a hardcore Vedantin or a classical Vedantin, he will say no. Then why should you study Vedanta? What is the benefit of knowledge? If you ask, he says that your fundamental problem is removed. What is that fundamental problem? The fundamental problem is what? Ajnana, ignorance. I'm ignorance of myself. That is the root cause for all our problems. In our mundane life, we have got some problems in the family relationships or with the office relationships, in the working relationships. Apart from that, my own, through my body, mind, intellect, all these things are there. But according to the Vedanta, the prime problem, the fundamental problem is what? Ignorance. Ignorance of oneself. If that is taken care, then most of our problems can be subsided, can be handled, can be tackled, or it will dissolve also. And because of this ignorance, we are feeling the helplessness. Physically, we feel helpless. Mentally, we feel helpless sometimes. Emotionally, we feel helpless. Someone scolded me for no reason. I know that that is not right, and I want to get away, but still emotively I am disturbed. I want to sleep night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. has happened, but I am unable to sleep. My mind is disturbed. I don't want to get disturbed, but still, unfortunately, I am emotionally disturbed. Intellectually, because of some thoughts or ideas or some utterances or by ego, we get disturbed. All this leads to what? Because of helplessness. We feel helpless, really. And because of this helpless, what happens sometimes? We may get anger on ourselves, on the situations, on the people, or in the family people, or in the boss, or on the juniors, or colleagues, or whatnot. And you don't get a proper channel to express and to clear it off or to sublime it off, then you may get into frustration. And this frustration can create depression. So helplessness, it leads to anger, it continues then frustration, it continues depression. HAFD problem, you can say. And if this continues still, if it extends, then you will get a degree called MBBS. This HAFD continues, then you will get MBBS. I mean, on the lighter side, I'm telling you. So don't take it seriously as strictly that MBBS. What does it mean? MBBS means Meaningless, burdensome, boring struggle. Oh, life has become very cumbersome for us. In Canada, I used to make this joke. There are three type of people, three mindset of people. Nane samasye, nanage samasye, nanag samasye. Though it makes a small difference between these sentences, but there is a heaven and hell of difference of attitude between one statement to second statement and second statement to third statement. It's all our perceptions and attitudes. And if HAFD is not taken care, then you will get easily degree called MBBS. Meaningless, burdensome, boring struggle. I don't know, Swamiji. I'm so much working hard for what I don't know. I'm not feeling happy. I'm not feeling content. So many people keep complaining these things. So there is somewhere feeling of sense of helplessness, which is the root cause for all these things. So all these then can be classified or brought under one Sanskrit word called samsara. Of course, samsara has got different connotations and denotations. Here, samsara is what? The sense of helplessness, the sense of problem, or the sense of limitation. And how this samsara, the helplessness or the limitation, how can we overcome? By freedom. By how? By emancipation, by moksha, mukti, or from Vedantic term, by self-knowledge. By having the self-knowledge, I can break the limitation or helplessness. See, today science and technology, in the civilizations, in the growth of civilization, in the growth of our science and technology, the fundamental approach or the fundamental thought is what? I am trying to go against the nature. I am trying to master the nature, conquer the nature, and I am trying to overcome my limitation. I am trying to overcome my helplessness. Earlier, people were living in the forest. Maybe a bit slowly, then we started living in the caves. Then from sun, from winter, from rain, or from wind, we started getting protected in the caves, natural caves. Then slowly people started building something, hut or whatever. Then slowly houses came, then slowly beautiful structured houses are there. Okay. Say 200 years, 300 years before, we were all suffering from the heat, suffering from the heat, suffering from the cold. Then we started bringing electricity, fan, then AC, coolers, then here heating systems in the America and in the Europe. And we got vehicles, tamed animals, and we started using them as vehicles. And afterwards, we started producing different vehicles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, aeroplanes, helicopters, jetter flights, whatnot. All these things, if you see, I am trying to overgrow my limitation. I want to reduce my limitation. I want to reduce my helplessness. We keep on trying it. Never mind. A lot of limitations have been taken care. We are able to conquer these limitations. But the fundamental problem of the fundamental problem, still it is haunting our mind. One is abhinivesha, the fear of death. How much our science and technology has developed, medicine has developed, my life might extend. Instead of 60, I may live 70, if not 80, 100, 110, 150, but still I have to die. Doctor says everything is fine, all parameters are fine. In 5-10 minutes, the doctor comes and says, we are sorry to inform you that he or she is no more. So many instruments, medical instruments, medicine, thanks for that, never mind, but all these things, but still none of us, no system could prevent the death physically, and the other is ignorance because of that self-alienation or individual problems, so many things, especially in the West, I see a lot of people suffer from the individual boring. They don't have anyone, or they're just one or two people are there, somehow they're not able to go well. All these problems we see, psychological problems, psychosomatic problems. For all these things, the Vedanta says, understand yourself, experience your true nature, real nature, then all these problems can be stopped. Rather, the other way of putting is, you can transcend all these problems. So, Atyantika Dukkha Nivrutti and Paramananda Prapti is the benefit of studying Vedanta. By studying Vedanta, what happens? Atyantika dukkha nivrutti. Dukkha, suffering, unhappiness or suffering, nivrutti. So the removal of suffering, the removal of unhappiness happens. How? Atyantika, permanently. Today I was suffering from cold. So my body and I am suffering, and I took medicines. Yeah, slowly, in 2-3 days, by taking paracetamol or whatever, then my cold came down. So my suffering from cold got stopped. After some time, again some other suffering comes. Then that is taken care. Again some other. So it keeps on multiplying, or it keeps on changing. It keeps on shifting. Whereas by this Vedanta, Atyantika dukkha nivrutti means it is completely cessation of suffering. Then Parama Ananda Prapti. Ananda. Here not happiness, it is bliss. Immortal bliss. Ananda Prapti. You will get, you attain. Attaining is again is a relative word, actually. So attaining, you are attaining the immortal bliss, and Paramananda. You are attaining the supreme immortal bliss, or you are attaining the supreme bliss, by which no one can shake you. No one can disturb you. Nothing can disturb you in the life, because you will be the experiencer of yourself when you study Vedanta, when you put into practice. So Atyantika dukkha nivrutti and Paramananda Prapti is what the benefit or the aim of Vedanta. So now probably most of you are clear why are you going to, or why should you study Vedanta, and on the lighter side, why should you attend my classes on this Vedanta? Why? Because you will get Atyantika dukkha nivrutti and Paramananda Prapti. Anyhow, now Pramana Vichara over and Prayojana Vichara over in a nutshell. Then I will try to discuss Prameya Vichara. Prameya Vichara means the subject part of the philosophy, or of the book, or the content part. What is the content part here? If you say in this Prameya Vichara Vedanta, it is nothing but self, or Atman, or Brahman, or consciousness. Or still little more, if you want me to go deep, then we speak of individual self, or Atman, and Supreme Self, Paramatman, and about the world, Jagat, we speak. These are the three things which speak. And apart from the two or three topics are also discussed in the text. One is, the fourth is the nature of the bondage. Fine. Then the solution to get rid of this bondage, to cut this bondage, to end this bondage. What is the solution, they tell, and what is the way, methodology, sadhana, paddhati to have that solution. Okay, I know I am that self, I am that consciousness, but that has to be put into practice. I have to experience that. So what is the way out to experience I am the self? I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not this external objects or the world, I am the self. Isn't it? To experience that, they will also tell the marga, the sadhana paddhati, or sadhana marga. So these are the 6 topics which generally the Vedanta try to discuss. In some texts, there can be 1 or 2, may be there, may not be there. And some texts, they may take 1 or 2 topics, and they may go in detail or in depth also, can sometimes. And now coming to Vedanta. Veda Anta. Veda comes from the word called vid, to know. So Vedas means it is not just a big books which is written in Sanskrit. It is a simple meaning. Vedas means it is a treasure house of the wisdom, which is revealed to the Rishis and which is given by God. And Veda Anta. Anta means end. So the end part of the Vedas is called Vedanta, which is the primary meaning, the real meaning, you can say, the essence of the Vedas, or the final word of the Vedas. Okay, Swamiji, you gave a 1-hour talk. So what is can you tell in a gist form? So what is your final word, or what is your final statement, or what is your final idea about all these things you discussed? If you ask, then I may tell something. So similarly, Vedas runs, for an example, Rig Veda itself has got 25,000 slokas. Now fine, so what is the essence of the Veda? If you ask, the Upanishads Upanishad or Upanishads. Upanishad is the end of the Vedas, or the final statement of the Veda, the essence of the Veda, according to the Vedantins. Now the the Purva Mimamsakas are there. They say no, they are just Arthavakya. They are just to encourage people. They have said the Purva Bhaga, that is Karma Kanda, or the sacrificial portion of the Vedas, which describes the sacrifices, different types of homas, how to do it and what to do it and all. So that is the important part of the Veda. The latter portion is just, it is called Arthavakya. Just it is to encourage people to study Vedas and to perform sacrifices, they have told. It is not. They will tell. But the Vedantins, they tell, no. The latter portion of the Vedas is what the important and the end part of the Vedas. So this is what they have to tell. And the Vedantins tell very beautifully. Why? Because whatever you do karma, however it may be good, however it may be, I mean, Vedantins are not against doing actions, but they say, why by action alone one can reach emancipation? The Purva Mimamsakas say, the Uttara Mimamsakas, that Vedantins say, no. Because your karma, whatever you are saying, it may be the best karma, best action, but it can have three defects, either one or two or all of this. What is that? One is dukkha mishritva. Means any action you do, the result is mixed up. Good and bad, right or wrong, happiness or unhappiness, happiness and misery, both are mixed there. So any action, it cannot bring completely happiness alone. So it is a mixture of both. That is the reason we have to seek knowledge, self-knowledge. That is what the Vedantins argument. The second is atrupti karatvam. It can never give the fullness. I became the millionaire. I became the president of the United States, but it doesn't give complete fullness for me. Still, I am bothered about the next elections. And afterwards, who will come? Who will take away my chair? Even while being in the chair, while holding the position, always I am careful so that no one will snatch or take away my position or whatever. So it can never give fullness. That doesn't mean that we should not try for power position. We should not try for excellence in the life or in the work. Vedanta is not saying that. It is only saying the limitations. The third one is Bandakatvam. Bandakatvam means dependency. The more and more you are, the more and more dependent you may become. So that's why the karma is great. It can bring many things for us. And we need action. The whole world is depending on the action. We also need action, all of us, even including Gnani accepts that. But at the same time, it has got a lot of power. It is necessary, but it has got a necessary evil also. It has got its own limitations. These are the three limitations. So then what is the way out? Self-knowledge. Brahma-jnana. The knowledge of oneself is the only way out to get rid of all these problems. That is what the Vedantins or the Vedanta is trying to tell through the Upanishads or through Brahma Sutra or any Prakarana Granthas called Tattva Bodha, Aparokshanubhuti, or Viveka Chudamani, or Drugdrishya Viveka, any other book. So basically they are trying to explain that, try to understand your nature, experience your real nature. That is the only way out to end all these sufferings, problems, or to have the experience of completeness or fullness. Now this Mundaka Upanishad, if you say there are 10 major Upanishads according to classical systems, that is Isha, Kena, Kata, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Aitariya, Taittariya, Brihadanyaka, Chandogya. So these are the 10 main Upanishads it is considered. Why? Adi Shankaracharya has written commentary for this 10 Upanishads also. That is one of the reasons they say. And 8 minor Upanishads are there. Otherwise, accepted, we have got 108 Upanishads. Apart from that, there are few other more Upanishads which they have not got the classical state. Now, this Mundaka Upanishad is the part of the major Upanishads. That is among the 10 major Upanishads. This is one of the Upanishads. In Mundaka Upanishad, generally, people, when they start studying, they start with the Mundaka. It is good, they say. Though there are some places, some people who study with Ishavasya and other things, but it is not so. It is not good because there are a lot of confusions can be there. For example, I can give you an example. In Isha Upanishad, what happens? Avidya mrutyum tirtva. There's a one sloka which starts from Avidya mrutyum tirtva. Means, may you cross mortality through ignorance. So when you read, may you cross mortality through ignorance, that you'll get confused. You'll get misled. So you have to contextually, you have to understand all that. We have to very carefully, we have to understand. So this type of things are there in the Isha. If you start Ishavasya Upanishad at the beginning, there can be a problem. That's where we have to study Upanishads to start with, either from Mundaka or Kata. Then 1 or 2 Upanishads we should study. And in between 4th or 5th, you can go for Isha in generally. So Mundaka Upanishad. So it is a part of Atharvana Veda. So it is a part of Atharva Veda. We know 4 Vedas. So the Mundaka Upanishad is the part of Atharva Veda. Here the teachings as given by Rishi, never mind, it is in the form of dialogue. And Mundaka Upanishad, it is very nice Upanishad, very good, nice Upanishad. So directly reading, sometimes you may not be able to understand. So you need some explanation. You may need some commentaries, but I'm not going to commentary here, never mind. So I will be reading commentary. Based on the commentaries ideas, I will be trying to explain this Mundaka Upanishad so that you can know. And this Mundaka Upanishad has got 65 mantras. 65 mantras. And the 65 mantras are, the Mundaka Upanishad consists of 3 chapters. 3 chapters, and every chapter is known by name called Mundaka. The chapter, 3 chapters, and every chapter is known as Mundaka, and every Mundaka or every chapter is classified into 2 sections, that is called Kanda. So this Mundaka Upanishad has got 65 slokas. It has been chapterized. 3 chapters we have got, means 3 Mundakas, and we have got 6 Kandas. Every chapter has been divided into 2 sections or 2 Kandas. So 3 Mundakas, 6 Kandas, and 65 slokas we have got. And every Upanishad, more or less, will have one Shanti mantra. So this Mundaka Upanishad, being the part of Atharvana Veda, it has got the Bhadrankarnebi Shanti mantra. So by chanting this, I will end today's class, and in the next class, I will be discussing about the Shanti mantra, and we will start discussing about the Mundaka Upanishad text. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्ये माक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति 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 हरिः ओम तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु. Yes, thank you. Anyone of you have got any questions?
Pranam Swamiji.
Namaste.
Swamiji, you said it is not derived from logic, but it can be very.
Okay. So yes, it is regulated by the logic. Why? Because we use this statement. If you say Nyaya and Vaisheshika, they're dependent lot on logical reasoning alone. So for us, Shruti Pramana is important, but it is qualified with, or it is supported with logic and Anubhava. So the Shruti Pramana is being regulated by the logic. That's what the fundamental difference is. In the Nyaya and Vaisheshika, the logic is very important for them. Shruti Pramana comes second or third probably. So in the Vedanta, it's a Shruti Pramana is the first, second is logic, and the third is Anubhava or experience, and Anubhava, Tarka can be interchanged also. Shruti Pramana will be first. So the logic will be regulated, means it will be supported. That's what I mean.
Okay, Swami. Thanks.